Do you want to know what energies are surrounding you during this Mercury retrograde in Gemini? Then keep watching because this is the timeless tarot reading meant just for you, okay? Hello trick-or-treaters and welcome back to my channel TrickrTreatTarot, where it is spooky season all year long. If you like Halloween or Samhain, then this is definitely the channel for you, where I do spooky themed tarot pick-a-cards and other spiritual related videos. So if that's your jam, go ahead and make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And while you are subscribing, make sure you hit the post bell notification button so you stay updated and you do not miss out when I post new spooktacular videos every week. Alright, you guys, so we are back again with another retrograde reading. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is all about our Mercury retrograde in Gemini. Okay, so Mercury's at home in Gemini. We are going to do this the same way we did our last two readings, okay, with our retrograde. So we are going to start with our astrological forecast. Then we're going to do all of our shuffling on camera. We're going to get into our collective reading. And then we are going to get into our charm casting, okay? So all of our timestamps are going to be in the description box below, as well as in the pinned comment section down below. So you can skip straight to the parts of the messages that you want to see. Keep in mind, these are general readings, you guys, general readings. So this is going to be for the collective. Take what resonates, let the rest go, let it flow, okay? It's not that serious. Make sure that you are, right, just having fun with these readings. Just have fun with it, you guys. That's the main point of this, is to bring inspiration, motivation, clarity, and insight into certain aspects of your life. Okay, now with this being a collective reading, these messages are meant for me, they're meant for you, they're meant for your friends, your family, my friends, my family, for anybody who is watching this, okay? This is just going to help us understand the energies that are surrounding us as a collective from the cosmos, okay? And how we can better deal with these energies and use these energies for our benefit, okay? Now, with that being said, we're going to go ahead, we're going to get straight into our astrological forecast, you guys. Mercury retrograde is not playing games, okay? She is already disrupting my life, okay? I posted a couple of readings and the editing, right, was off. My camera ended up cutting out. The focus, right, my camera was out of focus. I don't even know how that happened. The settings were completely changed. So, right, we all know Mercury retrograde has a very special touch with technology, and technology tends to just fail. It doesn't really work. It's not a good time to make decisions, any heavy decisions, right? Any large purchases you kind of don't want to do during a retrograde. Don't sign any contracts or anything like that. Any big major life decisions or celebrations you kind of want to put a pause on, right, during a Mercury retrograde. But that's all just because Mercury retrograde really wants you to make sure that you go back, replan, redo, restructure, reevaluate, you know, all of your moves. Okay, so Mercury is the planet surrounding communication, the ruler of Gemini. So Mercury is at home in Gemini right now, currently in that sign, and rules really communication and our thought processes. Okay, Mercury is very, very smart, very smart. So Mercury wants you, right, when it's in retrograde, wants you to be very smart about your moves. Be very smart about, you know, it's almost like a game of chess where you think that you want to place, you know, maybe your rook or pawn in a certain aspect of your life. But Mercury retrograde kind of wants you to rethink that move before you actually move there. Mercury retrograde says, do you really want to make that move, or is there a better move you could make instead? And if you go ahead and you make that move during Mercury retrograde, sometimes that move causes, right, the opposite player, which would be the universe, to create a counter move that would ultimately have force you, right, force your hand to redo that move and to move backwards, then to undo what you just did, so you could then make a better move to better, right, beat your opponent. Okay, so weird analogy, but with that being said, you know, that's kind of the energy surrounding the Mercury retrograde, and it is in Gemini. So expect for miscommunication. Okay, Gemini is all about third house energy. It's all about communication. So, right, expect communication to be challenging during this retrograde. Relationships are going to be challenging during this retrograde. Okay, so this is just really a good time for you to take things slow down, take things slow. Make sure you plan before you make decisions. This is a good time for planning. Okay, and it's also a good time to make sure that you think before acting. Okay, think before you act. Don't act impulsively, and make sure that you stay on the same page with your friends, family, loved ones, partners, because this could ultimately lead to a lot of possible conflicts, collisions, miscommunication between you and loved ones, because, right, we know that third house energy is all about communication, and without, with a friction between communication of you and someone else who's important in your life, that could then create friction between relationships. So keep that in mind. That's also something important to really note here. So just make sure that you are just very mindful about what comes out of your mouth during this Mercury retrograde, okay, in Gemini. Now, with all that being said, we're going to go ahead, we're going to get into our shuffling, you guys. We're going to do all the shuffling on camera. If you don't want to see the shuffling, you can go ahead, you can skip that. Timestamps are below. You can go straight to your message, okay? This is a collective message, so no groups, no piles, all just one reading for you, for me, and for everyone else that's watching this, okay? So we're going to go ahead, we are going to get right into it starting now. All right, trick-or-treaters, so we are going to get straight into your messages. These are your channeled messages all about the collective energy surrounding this Mercury retrograde in the sign of Gemini, third house energy of communication. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it, you guys. So we have the Four of Wands, okay? This is interesting already. Ooh! Five of Wands in reverse. There it is. There it is, you guys. We saw her coming. Okay. We have, what is this? Six of Wands in reverse. There's a lot of fire energy happening here. Three of Swords in reverse. Lots of reversals. Not surprised during a retrograde reading. Ooh, the Moon. Ooh, okay. And Justice in reverse. Okay. Wow. Okay. Where do I begin? My goodness. Okay. So, Four of Wands. For some of you guys watching this might be wondering, is this a good time to get married? Is this a good time to buy a house, right? A good time to move, right? Maybe to a new state, a new country. Is this a good time to start a family? Girl, the answer is no. Okay, no, it is not a good time. It's Mercury retrograde. What are you thinking? Okay, don't do it. So, right, because what do we see is happening here? We see that there is conflict. We see that there is more conflict, okay? There's obstacles, there's hurdles. We see there's heartbreak happening here, okay? So no, you guys, it's not a good idea to make any kind of major life choices, decisions, or changes during this Mercury retrograde, okay? Let's talk about what actually is happening here. So we see that ultimately, what's the goal? We want to move, we want to get married, we want a new house, we want to start a family, we want to, you know, live our best life, be successful, amazing, beautiful, have our dreams come true, great, happily ever after. Now, to achieve this, we got to get through all of this, okay? Mercury says in order to get here, you got to figure this out first. Now, you want to have this happily ever after here, but Mercury retrograde is putting a spotlight on the fact that there has been conflict, right, that has happened in the past, and there's wounds that still need healing. There are situations that still need closure, conflicts that still need resolution, okay? For some of these conflicts will be happening again during this retrograde because they were not properly resolved in the past. But this isn't going to be the first. I mean, for some of you, it might be the first time this conflict is happening, but I feel for a lot of us watching this, this is conflict that has happened in the past and is happening again because it was not properly resolved in the past when it happened. So Mercury retrograde is putting a spotlight on it again and saying, no, you can't get married and have kids and start a life together until you figure out why you're hurt. Why are you still hurt from what happened? How can you have closure from what happened? How can you, right, converse, have a conversation and come to resolutions and conclusions and form boundaries based off of the fact that you were hurt in the past by this person, okay? There cannot be success because there are obstacles. What are the obstacles that need to be resolved, okay? The conflicts, the fighting, the arguing, the disagreements. So no, you cannot have success or be successful or feel complete until these situations are resolved first, okay? So who hurt you? That's who you need to talk to during this time, during this Mercury retrograde, okay? Who are you trying to move forward with? What are the underlying issues, okay? Underlying issues, we have the moon. The moon wants to know, what are the true actual feelings here, the shadow attributes that are going to be coming to the surface during this Mercury retrograde, okay? There's healing that has to be done here. There are feelings that have to come to the surface that you have to exercise that throat chakra during this Mercury retrograde, okay? Because there are conversations, honey, that have to be had, okay? With the justice in reverse, why is there imbalance? Imbalance in your relationship. For a lot of us, this has to do with relationships, okay? Which is very interesting. Gemini energy, right? We know is a twin, so we know that there's duality here. They tend to be, you know, they tend to be quite flirtatious, right? Gemini energy is flirtatious energy, right? It is a loving energy. They tend to fall, right, kind of quickly for people, fall in love quite fast. So I feel that there's a lot of relationship energy happening here. We have Libra energy happening here as well. But this could not only just talk about relationships, but other partnerships, right? Maybe with a coworker, a friend, family members. This could be, you know, also with maybe a boss, okay? Or, your relationship with a career, your relationship with yourself, okay? So this could, you know, be different for everybody who's watching this, different relationships, right? Different messages for different people, but this is definitely going to put a spotlight on very specific relationships, that there are conflicts here that have been had in the past that you're going to have again, right, during this retrograde period, because they were not resolved properly, and you have to find resolutions for them before there can be success and happiness. You have to figure out, you know, how to bring these emotional, right, these emotional turmoil to the surface, and how to express that, right? Don't express, see now with the fire energy, with the wands here, there's opportunity here for you to be really upset emotionally and have that fiery outburst, okay? Don't have a fiery outburst. Don't do it during this Mercury retrograde. That's going to be one of the lessons here, is how to have a civilized conversation, how to have dialogue, okay? Don't be upset. Don't argue. Don't shout, okay? Don't say, you know, mean things to somebody. This is all about having dialogue, having communication, right, between two civilized people, civilized conversation, understanding each other's perspectives, okay? Not putting the blame on one person or the other, but just understanding each other, coming to understanding, coming to agreements, okay? And being able to express, you know, each other's feelings in a safe environment, in a safe space, okay, where you guys can both be understanding of each other. Now that's what's going to be very important here, and that's where then we're going to start to find the balance here, because there's imbalance happening here. There's unhappiness that's happening here. There is someone in this relationship who is, right, or in this partnership, who is giving more than they are receiving, okay, and they're unhappy about it, honey. They are so unhappy about it, and you're going to find out during this Mercury retrograde, okay? You are going to find out the storm. Oof, geesh, the storm, okay. Mercury retrograde is bringing a storm. It is going to be heavy. It's going to be rainy. There's going to be thunder and lightning. And you know what? There's going to be chaos and wind and destruction. But destruction is ultimately transformation, okay? So we're transforming these relationships and these partnerships, okay? We're transforming the way we communicate with each other. Transforming, right, the way we communicate our emotions, that throat chakra, through this storm. That's what this storm is bringing here, okay? Ultimately, it's going to feel very chaotic. We know that with the Mercury retrograde, but it's going to be for the best. And it's ultimately going to bring a lot, right? It's going to strengthen a lot of our relationships, a lot of our partnerships, and it's going to allow us to learn how to be better communicators with each other, and how to better communicate how we feel on the inside, okay? Because people don't know how we feel on the inside unless we tell them. Surprise, surprise. We have more fire energy. There's a lot of fire energy here, so be careful, you guys, with all of this fire energy that's happening here. There's a lot of, right, heated moments. There's a lot of potential for heated moments, for heavy moments, for outbursts, right, for, right, acting without thinking, okay? So that you have to be careful with this fire energy, okay? People are going to be hot-headed. People are going to be, very short-tempered during this Mercury retrograde. That's the energy that I'm getting here, right? And I think that's part of the lesson here, learning how to deal with those, with our emotions, with the moon here, learning how to deal with our emotions, not being hot-headed or short-tempered, but instead how to be understanding and how to be, right, direct, but without being confrontational, okay? Without being argumentative, how to have conversations, how to have dialogue. That's the lesson here. That's what we're learning, and with this Mercury retrograde in Gemini, we're learning how to have conversations and how to have dialogue. Ooh, okay. We have the door. Is it open? Is it closed? Do you have the key? Is it locked? Whoa, where are we going? Okay, the door here. So that tells us that doors are going to be closing, doors are going to be opening. Okay, when one door closes, right, another one opens. So there's potential here to move forward. Okay, but again, doing the work. The door is not going to open by itself. You got to, you know, unlock it, turn the doorknob, open it, and walk through it. Okay, and sometimes doors open, but you got to walk through them if you want to, you know, get to where it is that you're going. You got to move your feet, you got to move your legs, you got to do the work, okay? There has to be movement here. So movement forward is what we see happening here. We see, right, portals opening for you, portals potential. We also have the cat. The cat is protection. So you are protected during this Mercury retrograde. Know that, okay? So don't, you know, even though there is going to be destruction and there's going to be turmoil and there's going to be, you know, heavy moments, know that you have the power to, right, kind of, I think too with the door here, this is also about secret space. So knowing when to separate yourself, okay, from those heavy moments. So that's another message that just came through here is, right, sometimes when we are heated, right, in a heated moment and we feel that we're going to have an outburst or we're going to lose our temper, knowing when to remove yourself from a situation to be able to cool off before you can go back and have a civilized conversation about what happened. Okay, so that's another that's a message that's coming through here that I'm hearing with the door here, is all about being able to separate yourself from the situation before allowing yourself to get to a place of no return. Okay, don't burn bridges during this Mercury retrograde. Please know your limits. Please take time for yourself. Count to 10. Take a walk. Do not allow yourself to give in to this fire energy that's happening here, okay? With the black cat energy here, we know that there is protection that's happening here, but this could also talk about, right, potential feeling of bad luck, like bad things maybe be happening or feeling like you just have bad luck. But remember, that's a state of mind, okay? Bad things don't happen to you. It's all about what you're manifesting, okay? So change, right? Sometimes change happens to you, but bad things don't happen to you, okay? So understand change and understand transformation, but understand it's for your greatest good. So a lot of us are going to be in a negative mindset, but it's going to be learning how to transform those negative thoughts into positive ones, because it's not what's happening, it's how we perceive what's happening. Okay, I hope that makes sense, you guys. But that's definitely some more energy that's coming through during this Mercury retrograde in Gemini. Okay, and then the twins, you guys, the twins. Oh my gosh, Gemini energy is literally, it's the twins, and we got the twins. So that's insane. Okay, this is literally Gemini energy happening here. So again, there's the duality. There's also understanding your independence in a relationship. So understanding, right, in certain relationships and partnerships that you guys are essentially, right, one, you guys work in unison, but also separate entities, independent of each other. So I think that's where a lot of this conversation has to happen too, where you have to understand each other as partners, but also understand each other as individuals. I think that's something else that's coming through here as well, okay? Understanding that you're more than just your partner. You're more than just your group of friends. You're more than just, you know, your coworkers, okay? So understanding who you are separate from those that surround you is an important aspect that's coming through with the twins here, okay? And then we also have the urn, which is interesting. For me, this is about memories. Okay, this is about memories, right? This could talk about the past, things from the past that are going to be resurfacing during this Mercury retrograde, because there's still work that has to be done. We talked about that. So things that happened in the past are going to resurface during this Mercury retrograde because they were not properly put to rest when they happened before. You have to be able to really find that closure and really find the solutions to those situations and problems, or they're just going to continue to resurface and resurface and resurface, and you're going to continue to be unhappy in these situations because it's going to become cyclic cycles in your life, because you haven't learned how to put those cycles to rest, how to overcome those situations, how to find closure, and how to really, you know, resolve these problems, okay? And then we have playthings, okay, playthings. So for me, right, this is talking about being careful with, you know, your actions. So, right, people are not playthings, okay? So for some of us, right, maybe we feel like we're being played, or for some of us watching this, we are playing others, okay? So, right, it's a two-way street, goes both ways. For some people watching this, you know, they're the ones that need to find closure, and for other people watching this, they're the ones that are someone's going to come to them because they did them wrong, and there needs to be closure. Okay, so it goes both ways, you know, different messages for different people, but understanding that life is not a game and people are not playthings, and understanding that it's not fair to really play with people's emotions, or to have control over someone, or want control over someone for your own personal benefit or your own personal gain. Okay, so that's something that's coming through here, and that's a lesson that's going to be learned during this Mercury retrograde. If you feel like, you know, you can play with people's emotions and get away with it, you got another thing coming during this Mercury retrograde, okay? Because Mercury retrograde is definitely going to let you know that that's not going to fly during this period, okay? That's not going to fly. And if you're the kind of person that feels like maybe you're the one who's been being played, then now's the time to speak up, okay? That's the kind of energy and cyclic cycles that you've been stuck in because you haven't been outspoken and you haven't separated yourself from those kinds of relationships, from people who are really just playing you, who are using you, okay? Who's using you? You're going to find out during this Mercury retrograde, okay? In Gemini, you're going to find out Freudian slips are going to occur. People are going to out themselves by mistake, you know, because, right, Gemini is all about that communication. There's going to be miscommunication. Someone's going to accidentally send you the wrong text, right? Along the way, you're going to get an email by mistake, and you're going to understand people's, right, true nature, what their actual potentials are with you, for you. And you're going to have to use that information for your best interest and be able to overcome those situations and move forward and learn and grow because of them, okay? Fire gun, become a loving mirror. Yeah, so there's a need to focus on yourself during this Mercury retrograde in Gemini. We know that this is a lot about introspection, focusing on yourself. We know that a lot of times certain situations and aspects appear to us through other people because they are lessons that we have to learn within ourselves, okay? People bring out aspects of ourselves that we need to understand, okay? So this is understanding parts of yourself that, you know, through other people. So essentially that's what's going on here. And then we have effervescence, so cultivate love. So again, cultivating love, finding love for yourself, right? With the becoming a loving mirror, finding love. So this is a lot about finding your self-confidence, finding that strength, that self-esteem, right? That self-love, understanding yourself separate from your partners, from your relationships. We talked about that. Understanding that you are your own individual person. Sometimes with Gemini energy, we can become very codependent. So who are you codependent on, right? Someone who has hurt you, someone who's maybe using you, someone, right, who's not good for you. So are you codependent with those people? Now is the time for you to find your independence and to remove yourself from those people, from those relationships, from those situations, okay? So that's what this is talking about, finding your independence during this Mercury retrograde in Gemini, finding your voice, okay? Finding your voice and being able to step up for yourself, okay? We also have your commitment is being tested, first quarter moon. So for some of you guys, your commitment in a relationship might be being tested, okay? So how committed are you in your relationships, okay? How committed are your partners with you in these relationships, okay? That's what's going to come through here. Are you as committed as you think you are? Are they as committed as you think they are, okay? And if you're not, why not? And you know, that's really what this is going to talk about here. So I see that there's a lot of information about relationships here, relationships coming through, and finding your independence and understanding your commitment. Are you committed to yourself? Are you more committed to yourself than your partner? Or are you more committed to your partner than yourself? That's a question that you have to answer, okay, for yourself, that you have to understand, that you have to know, okay? What is the reason? What is the reason, okay? We also have book knowledge. So we know Mercury is all about knowledge, okay? So you're going to be gaining knowledge. Knowledge is going to be coming to you. New facts, new information is going to be coming to you, right? This could be coming through, right? Certain letters, emails, text messages, okay? Right? People communicating information to you. Someone could be bringing you new knowledge during this Mercury retrograde that's going to help bring insight and clarification to certain relationships around you, okay? We also have dice gamble, okay? So it's a gamble during this Mercury retrograde. So, right, we know that if you want to make these big decisions, moving, buying a house, getting married, starting a family. It's a gamble. I'm not going to, you know, sit here and tell you it's not going to work out. I'm going to sit here and tell you that it's not a great idea because you don't know how it's going to turn out, right? So it's a gamble. You can go ahead, you can make those decisions for yourself. And then, you know, maybe they'll work out. That's great. You know, if they do, and maybe they won't, and then you'll regret your decisions. But, you know, that's completely up to you. Whatever you want to do, boo. We see, you know, during a Mercury retrograde, you never know what's going to happen, honestly. Like, you just never know. Some people, like, aren't even affected. And then other people, you know, absolutely, their life falls apart. So it affects everybody completely differently. So it's honestly, it is a gamble. You don't know what's going to happen. For some of us, our relationships are really going to be tested. Our partnerships are going to be tested, and we're going to be stronger because of it. And for some of us, we're really just going to end up single because of it. You know, like you don't know. So grand trine blessings. So ultimately what's happening here, it's happening for you. It's not happening to you. Everybody knows that Mercury retrograde is a tough time. It is a tough time. It's hard lessons, as is with all retrogrades. It's tough love. It's hard lessons that have to be learned, but we have to learn them. And at the end of the day, it's happening for us. It's not happening to us, and we are becoming stronger because of it. We are wiser because of it. We are growing because of it. This is all for our personal growth. So when you harness these energies, you understand what's happening, you understand the energies around you, and you're able to harness them, then you're able to benefit from them. So now that we've had this conversation and you understand what's going on here with this energy, then you can benefit from this energy, and I can benefit from this energy because we know what the energy is. We've harnessed the energy. We know what's coming our ways. We know why it's coming our way, and we know what the lessons are bringing to us. And now we can understand what the blessings are, what the lessons are. We can learn, we can grow, and we can break out of the cycles that we've been in, because that's what this is all about. This is breaking out of those cycles of miscommunication, cycles of codependency, cycles of bad relationships and partnerships, okay, cycles of not knowing your own independence, okay, of maybe being too impulsive, okay, feeling like, for some of you, maybe it's feeling like you have to be in a relationship, okay, feeling like you're incomplete unless you're with somebody else. So that's another thing, making, maybe, you know, some of you guys watching this have to be single for a little bit, and you have to do the work on yourself before you could be in a fulfilling relationship, okay? Now let's go ahead, let's read your affirmation for this Mercury retrograde in Gemini, the duration, okay, of this astrological placement. So ups and downs. Ups and downs. I can't think of anything better to describe a Mercury retrograde, okay? I see life as an incredible ride, and I'm lucky to be on it. Yes, the ups and downs make me want to puke sometimes, but they're also what make things fun and interesting. And when you look back, even puking on yourself makes for a good story. So ups and downs, during this Mercury retrograde, you're going to have ups and downs. There are going to be times, you know, heated moments, hardships, there's going to be miscommunication, but there's also going to be times of love and understanding and growth, okay, that's going to happen here. So during this Mercury retrograde in Gemini, you're really just going to have to roll with the punches. You're going to have to, you know, take the ups and the downs as they come. There's no use in fighting it, because you absolutely cannot fight this energy that is coming towards you. There's just, it's too strong. There's too much happening here with this retrograde season and the eclipse season all happening at the same time. So just understand that, you know, this is all for your benefit. And looking back, you know, these are going to be stories that you're going to be able to tell, and you're going to be able to explain, you know, how these situations have helped you grow, and now you're going to be able to help other people grow before you, you know, or after you, because you've already been through these kinds of situations. So with that being said, that is your channeled messages for your Mercury retrograde in Gemini. We're now going to go ahead and get into your charm casting, just to give us some more information and clarification on the energies that are surrounding this planetary placement, okay? All right, boos and ghouls and witchy souls, we are now going to go ahead and get into your charm casting, so that way we can go ahead and get some more clarification and extra information on the energies surrounding this Mercury retrograde in Gemini, the third house, okay? All right. So, what do we have here? Oof, okay. Sheesh. Ooh, okay. All right. So, yeah, with the spoon here, we see that there is definitely, right, with the spoon closest here, we see that there is some codependency that's happening here. You're really relying on somebody else to provide for you, you know, whether that be they're providing something to you emotionally or financially or physically, you know, whatever it is that they're providing that you're relying on them on, that's definitely a situation that's going to be coming into play here, and not in a good way either, because that's right, codependency that's a negative attribute to Gemini energy. So you have to be able to overcome that and find your independence. That's the main thing that's happening during this Mercury retrograde in Gemini, is finding that independence, right? Being able to work for yourself, with yourself in certain aspects and situations. We have the brain here, so there's learning. There's going to be a learning curve that's happening here, okay? There's learning how to grow, learning how to be yourself. Yeah, with the lost energy, woof. Yeah, so a lot of us are, you know, maybe a lot of us watching this are thinking, nah, I'm not codependent, I know who I am, but sis, like, that's not true. I'm looking at this, and a lot of us have a lot of growing to do. We have a lot of aspects of ourselves that we have to understand, and I think we really have to sit down and think about what it is that we rely on other people for, and how we could be more independent in our lives, okay? We see that there's transformation financially. For a lot of people watching this, you know, it could be finances. We rely on other people's finances. This could also talk about certain partnerships in our careers, okay? That maybe that's something that's happening here, right? Needing a shift in careers. We also, or maybe being too, right, dependent on a specific job that we're unhappy with. That's something that could be coming to play here. You know, if you're not happy in your job, but you're just really dependent on it to pay your bills, you know, what's another way that you could pay your bills, another way for you to make money while also being, you know, emotionally fulfilled. That's something that's coming through here. And then we also, yeah, there's a need for emotional fulfillment here with the crown chakra energy. You need to reconnect with your guides and ancestors and angels. There's definitely going to be clarity coming through as well. There's certain situations and or people, right, there's going to be new information that's going to be coming in that's going to bring clarity to you about certain people and situations here. We see that there's work on your relationships that needs to be done. For a lot of us too, this could be certain relationships with our family. So this could be your kids, this could be our parents, this could be our home life with, you know, a husband, a wife, you know, whatever your partner is. So that could talk about that. There's a need to listen. Okay, definitely a need for better communication, for better listening. There's so much work that has to be done here, and it's going to take time. And we see now is the time to open up. So a lot of us have been bottling a lot of information inside us. We've been bottling our emotions. We've been bottling our hurt, our pain, our anger, our sorrow, our lonely. But now's the time to really let it all out, and not in an explosive way, but to let it out, you know, little bits at a time, to be able to express those feelings and emotions with our loved ones, you know, because we can't work on a relationship unless we're being honest in a relationship. And that's something that's really coming through here, is there's a need for honesty, to be honest about how you feel, and to be honest about what it is that you want and desire in a relationship, and how you guys can work towards that, okay, in a relationship or partnership, right? Because this could talk about romantic relationships, family members, friends, right, or financial or career-oriented partnerships as well. So keep that all in mind, you guys. And then we also see here that there's caution. There's a need for caution here, because there could be potential for certain outbursts to happen, right? There could be potential for certain conflicts to come about as well. But then we also see that with the Sagittarius energy here, that there's also new mindset that's going to be coming through here with the Pisces energy as well, with the hand. So we see that there's going to be new mindsets, new philosophy changes, which makes sense, because we're also having that eclipse energy here with the eclipse in Sagittarius. If you didn't watch my video on that, go ahead and go watch that, because that's going to have significance on this energy as well. Okay, that's happening here. But we definitely see that there is potential for conflict. We see that there is transformation. There's alchemical energy happening here though as well. Need to sever yourself from specific ties of people and finding your independence. Overall, that's the main thing that's happening here with this Mercury retrograde and Gemini energy, is really finding yourself, finding your independence, finding your voice, being able to adjust, you know, to your situation, and being able to have open dialogue and communication about your wants, desires, and find resolutions through, you know, cyclic conflicts in these relationships, and being able to become more emotionally fulfilled. That's ultimately what I see happening here. Communication and independence playing the biggest role, okay? There's going to be new understanding, new information coming into play here, right? Through, again, email, text message, letter, or through, you know, someone speaking it to you through voice. So that is basically all the information that I see happening here, and it makes complete sense with the Mercury retrograde in Gemini. This all makes absolute complete sense. So, you know, I love charm casting, and I love tarot reading and oracle, and I love doing this because the messages always make sense with astrology and the spirits and all the cards, and everything just connects, and it is so beautiful and it is so wonderful, and it's magical. It's magical, you guys, and you guys get to watch all of this happen and benefit from all of these messages, and it's absolutely beautiful. I just love doing this so much, you guys. I absolutely adore this. Wow, so I hope that this reading really helps, you know, everybody watching this. I really hope that it helps you guys be able to harness this energy and benefit from this energy, so that way you can grow and prosper. I hope that this is insightful and motivational and inspirational for you during this time. If this resonated, please do let me know in the comments down below. Let me know how you guys like this reading. I would love to know, you guys. Thank you so much for all of your beautiful comments, all of your likes, all of your views, all of your support. I just love how much this channel is growing. It's so beautiful. If you haven't subscribed already, please do go ahead, consider subscribing. Join this beautiful, abundant, growing, spooky family. It's such a warm place to be, and I am just so thankful for each and every one of you guys. So make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Please do share it with your friends and family and loved ones, so they could also benefit from these messages, and we can spread this insight, inspiration, motivation, and clarity to all who need to hear this, to all of my trick-or-treaters who haven't even discovered this channel yet, you guys. Okay, with all that being said, it has been such a pleasure. These energies are powerful. It's going to be tough, but we are going to get through it together, you guys. Absolutely together. Let's do this, okay? So thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. Keep it creepy. Bye, you guys.